Luigi's Mansion is a game that I always love coming back to. It was a tradition of mine a few years ago to replay the game during October and finish it by Halloween, so really I'd only play it during the last week of the month since the game is so short, but I absolutely love the aesthetic and atmosphere of the original game, and while I really enjoyed the second and third games, something about this one just hits different in my opinion. Anyway, throughout the past few years, I've delved into some Luigi's Mansion ROM hacks, and it's safe to say there's definitely a good number of hacks for this game, and I've enjoyed playing them a ton. So in this video, I'll be going over 12 ROM hacks made by the community. Just to set some ground rules, no, I will not be covering every Luigi's Mansion ROM hack out there. I do know about pretty much all of them after researching for this video, but I'm gonna keep it simple here. I of course will include a few hacks that I've covered previously, to shine some more light on them and provide some better coverage than I did before. I won't spend too much time on certain hacks however, depending on their features and goals. Hacks that are more in-depth and change a lot more of the game will of course receive more time. Also, as always in the description you can find and download all of these hacks for yourself, so please check them out. If I was able to get them working properly on console, you will see the GameCube logo on the top right of your screen, and hacks that I only got working on Dolphin will of course have the Dolphin logo. Anyways, please like and subscribe if you enjoy, and without further ado, let's hop right into it. The first hack we're going to look at today is Luigi's Mansion Beta Restoration Revamped. If you've seen my first GameCube ROM hacks video, you probably remember me saying that this one was being recreated. Well, this hack was just re-released recently and makes the overall experience so much better, while also adding console compatibility as well. I've tested this one on my GameCube with Swiss, Wii with Nintendo, and Wii U through a virtual console inject, and it works great. This is of course aiming to recreate the Luigi's Mansion beta based on all the information and footage that's come out over the years, and nails that aesthetic perfectly. Especially when playing on console, I highly recommend doing so. The lower resolution and video quality just works so well in my opinion. It adds old designs for ghosts, the poltergust, the timer on the Game Boy Horror, the water nozzle and overheating features from the poltergust, and original beta music and sound effects. The experience is pretty short, about 20 minutes, and of course a lot of the mansion is not accessible since this is recreating a beta experience, but I still love this hack and highly recommend it. Luigi's Mansion Premium Deluxe is in my opinion the definitive way to play the original game, and my favorite way to come back to it as of late. It adds so many quality of life features in Premium Deluxe settings such as adjusting the difficulty between normal, PAL hard mode, and 3DS expert mode, turning on the overheat meter for the poltergust, changing the way chests open, mirror mode which flips the entire mansion, changing the mushrooms to either the regular poison mushroom or a healing one, adjusting the poltergust strength, native 16:9 widescreen support, and a few more quality of life settings like changing the lighting and ghost shading. I personally like going with the LMPD setting for the lighting, and Proto for the ghost shading. You can even walk around EGAD's lab. You'll see this feature pop up a bit more in other hacks. So as you can see, this hack adds a ton of features, and you can customize them to your liking before starting the game. However, you will have to readjust them every time you reboot. The core of the game remains pretty much unchanged, but it does add some new enemies like the Chef Ghost, and even a shortcut in the foyer to go straight to Area 3. I honestly can't believe this was not in the original game. This hack makes Luigi's Mansion so much more enjoyable, and being able to change game altering settings whenever you like can add a bit more variety to each playthrough. If there's only one hack you absolutely must play here, I'd say it's this one. Of course you should check out the rest of them, but this one is my personal favorite. Luigi's Mansion Open World is a pretty awesome concept. It modifies the game to allow you to explore the mansion however you choose. Pretty much every room is accessible from the start of the game, which can definitely add a ton of variety on each playthrough. It really adds so much more replayability to the original game. For my route, I decided to try and tackle the bosses first, Neville and Chauncey. I skipped over Lydia to come back to her later, and was able to get to Area 2 without even going through the first ghost rooms. Honestly, I could have gone straight to Area 2 from the start since instead of keys you get from chests, you get gems here now. Also, whenever I would replay the original game and leave my save for a few weeks, I would almost always forget where I left off, so this hack kinda fixes that problem for me. Of course, there may be a few tiny issues with progression since you are meant to get certain things like the fire and water elements from certain rooms, but if you just skip most of the game anyway, that's not really gonna be an issue. And honestly, I think this hack is really good for some casual speedruns. Oh yeah. Luigi's final ghost hunt is a hack that has a pretty cool story going on here, with Luigi having to deal with the ghosts one last time. EGAT is a ghost, Toad is now Toadsworth, and the mansion itself looks old, and the rooms are changed quite a bit here along with the bosses. I believe this hack is adding to the continuity of the original trilogy, so the things that happened in Dark Moon in the third game have some callbacks here, and Luigi even has a son. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I remember checking this hack out a few years back and getting stuck very early on when trying to get the Poltergust, and it turns out you have to go to the lab, which is explorable too by the way, and go to the ghost putrefaction room, and you'll find it there. This hack also has one minor issue that I think is important to mention, and that is the collision. The collision data here is the exact same as the original game, so even though the layouts of some rooms are changed, the object data for the originals are still there, making it seem like there are invisible walls at times. This hack overall is really good. I love the concept of Luigi having one last ghost hunt when he's old, and this hack executes that idea very well, while of course adding some memes and ridiculous enemies and dialogue too. Project Reality is a hack that completely overhauls the game, giving a Mario 64 aesthetic and models based off of it. This hack acts as a what-if scenario of sorts, if Luigi's Mansion was made for the N64 and acted as a true sequel to Mario 64. The game starts with Luigi and Mario in their house, with Luigi going outside to check their mailbox, when Mario is suddenly sucked into a similar looking cage from Mario 64. From there, Luigi hops inside and the game begins. Everything, and I mean everything, is changed here. We have new ghosts, a new poltergust, a new mansion based on Big Boo's haunt, new bosses, power-ups, and so much more. The primary enemy ghosts here are Boos, since this game is replicating the N64 era, with some bosses like King Bob-omb, Womp, and some more traditional ghost bosses turned into Boos. I mean, even Wario and Waluigi show up and act as a boss fight near the end of the game. Big Boo is one of the major bosses near the end as well. I thought he would be the final boss honestly until King Boo takes over. Yeah, this game is just full of bosses, a lot of them having 300, 400, even 500 HP, so catching them takes quite a bit of time. Some of the power-ups we have here are the wing cap, the invisible cap, and the metal cap. Of course they are a bit janky in my opinion, but it's just so awesome to see power-ups in Luigi's Mansion of all games, and they're used very well. This one is definitely more on the difficult side, and saving your progress takes a bit of backtracking, but besides that, I really enjoyed it. This hack is practically an entirely new game. The first-person optimization mod is a pretty interesting hack. This one transforms the game to be entirely in first person, giving it a more arcade-like and immersive experience. I did cover this one previously and felt it deserves another mention. The mansion itself remains pretty much untouched other than some changes to keep the game in first person for as much of it as possible, such as getting rid of pickup animations, which is a great quality of life feature just in general. And the controls here do take a bit of getting used to, and you do need to set them to sidestep before you play so they don't feel too weird. Also, the constant camera shaking when sucking up ghosts can definitely be a problem, and not being able to see what's behind you can definitely be one too, but besides that, the game is very playable this way. I don't have much else to say besides that. It's a super neat concept, and I enjoy checking this one out again. Louie's Mansion is a hack I never thought I would play. I'm not too big on the Pikmin games. I have beat the first game and played through some of the second game and checked out a couple hacks, so this was one I wasn't expecting to play too much, but I did. This hack of course does a complete overhaul, swapping the characters like Luigi for Louie, Mario for Olimar, and EGAT for the President, along with changing all the ghosts and bosses in the game. The HUD, currency, and even the Game Boy Horror are changed to fit the Pikmin theme, and I love it. This hack is leaning more into memes as well, with the dialogue being a bit ridiculous and even having bosses like Goku, which in my opinion makes this a great overhaul of the game. Luigi's Mansion co-op is pretty self-explanatory, and I feel like it really pushes the boundaries with this game. With this mod, you can now play the game in split screen with player 1 being Luigi and player 2 being Gooigi, or a transparent Luigi for the console version. I played this one a lot, and although it does have some minor issues, it also fixes some aspects of the original game as well. But honestly, I can brush off all of these issues, not only due to the technical limitations of such an old game, but just because of the fact that you can now play this game with 2 players. Besides that, of course the mansion itself and the goal remains the same, to save Mario, and from my experience the game is very playable this way, which is just awesome. Sweet Home is another hack I absolutely love. From the intro of the game, it feels so much like a mini sequel to the original. You can select the difficulty you want from the start, which is always a super nice feature. And there's of course a brand new mansion with a new enemy calling Luigi in the beginning of the game, giving this one a nice little story. The ghosts here have changed a bit as well in terms of health and designs, which is super nice. The layout of the rooms in the mansion are great. They're spacious but not too big, and the ghost count per room is not overwhelming. It still makes use of the water and fire elements too, and even has some boost to catch. This hack also adds 4 new costumes you can wear. You just go to the options menu to change them. We have the classic colors, casino outfit, NES golf outfit, and even the outfit from the original 1986 OVA. There's a speakeasy section in the middle of the game where you meet a ghost toad, and he gives you a drink to restore your health before another wave of ghosts come in, which is a super nice detail. The rest of the game is rather simple, with the enemy spirit getting more and more angry until you get to the final room, where you fight one more wave of ghosts. Yeah, sadly there is no major boss fight at the end, but this hack is still such a great experience. I love the mansion and it just nails that classic Luigi's Mansion atmosphere perfectly. Luigi's other mansion is a difficulty hack that also brings some changes from the 3DS remake into the original game. It shuffles around the mansion with different ghosts, item locations, room orders, and even adds several difficulty changes from the 3DS Hidden Mansion. I don't think this hack is too difficult, especially compared to some of the others I mentioned and the one I'll be discussing next, but this is such a great difficulty and improvement hack. I honestly enjoyed the 3DS remake a ton and beat it twice when I first modded my 3DS, so it was nice to have an experience reminiscent of that on the original GameCube version. Luigi's Requiem is another very interesting hack, and one I've been meaning to check out for a while. So regarding the story here, Luigi's trapped in an endless sleep and has to wake up. So you go through this home to catch all the ghosts and find a way to escape. The new mansion, or home in this case, is super nice, and the Luigi model touch-ups look a bit reminiscent of this image. Yeah, this hack is really giving me beta vibes. So, regarding the ghosts, as you can see here, there are a ton of ghosts in each room, which definitely cranks up the difficulty. And the rooms with the bosses are not much easier. All of them have a lot more health compared to the bosses in the original game. The final room is what looks to be a church, and you fight what I think is the Grim Reaper. And this guy is super fast, so it took me a while to beat him. But that's not the end of it. Once he's beat, we fight the final boss, Dracula, with 999 HP, and once he's beat, Luigi finds a 1-up and finally wakes up. The entire hack took me about 15 minutes to beat, so it's definitely the shortest one here, but I still think it's worth a playthrough. Alright, it's finally time to round out the video with the final ROM hack, Halloween Haunt. This hack, next to Sweet Home, absolutely nails the atmosphere of the original game, while completely changing the mansion. Before you start, you have the option to pick between normal, hidden, and daredevil difficulty levels, which again is another nice feature to have. The plot of this hack follows Luigi and Toad entering a random mansion for some reason to look for some Halloween candy, and not even a full minute into the game, Toad gets... Yeah, that's definitely a way to start a game. So, Luigi has until midnight to get out of the mansion before he'll be turned into a ghost and forced to roam the mansion forever. I love the new mansion design in this one. The rooms are not cramped at all, with some even having a second level to them. The backyard is also a neat addition here too, with the little scarecrow in the background. The ghosts here come in droves and they do get a bit overwhelming at times, but they don't have the most health in the world, so it balances it out. This hack has 3 different endings, and I actually did get 2 of them, but I accidentally deleted the footage of me getting one of them, so yeah, that sucks. but overall I really enjoyed this one. It does have some mini puzzles, and again, just the atmosphere here, especially when playing on the GameCube, it's just so good. I can't recommend it enough. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and don't forget to join my Discord server linked in the description. I'll be leaving links to where you could download each of these hacks yourselves, along with the X Delta patcher to help you patch the ROMs, but keep in mind you'll have to provide your own copy of the game. Where you get it is up to you. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and see you all soon.